Hello, my name is Nader Zigby and I have an opinion on cars. Today I'll be giving you my opinion on this 2016 Porsche Macan Turbo, which happens to be my personal car. Our love and passion for cars usually starts at a very young age. In my case, my love for Porsche started when I was 11 years old. At the time, I was playing hockey and across the street from the arena was a Porsche dealership. I went over and got the opportunity to sit in a convertible 911, and at that moment I knew no matter how long it took, I'd be the proud owner of a Porsche one day. This year, I made my dream of owning a Porsche come true. I decided to buy this Porsche Macan and put my dream of owning a 911 on hold for a couple more years. The plan was originally to own this car for a couple years and trade it in for the 911. But after driving it for about a year, I've decided this car is staying with me long term. And after this video, I hope you understand why. Not only is this car exhilarating to drive, it's extremely practical. It gives me the opportunity to share my love and passion for Porsche with my children and my wife. What more can you ask for? So join me on a little drive, a little discussion on why I absolutely love this Porsche Macan and why it's the ultimate compact SUV. This little drive just to give you my opinion on why I feel the Macan Turbo is the ultimate compact SUV and makes a lot of sports cars have a run for their money. You know, like I would rather own this than a Mustang. You know, rather own this than my Focus ST. You know, performance-wise, it impresses me more than the Cayman GTS, which says a lot. The original plan was to keep this for a couple of years and then trade it in or give this to my lovely wife Karen, who's thrilled by that idea, and getting a 911 or a Cayman. We'll see about that. But honestly, I'm keeping this car. You know, it's staying with me. I love it so much. It's, you know, I had high expectations for Porsche, very high expectations. You know, considering I waited 30 years to own one, and to actually end up even impressing me. Oh yeah. It's something, you know, when you build something up in your head, you know, just like, you know, when you watch a movie when you're younger, you're like, I watched The Goonies, you know, and I was like, oh, The Goonies is awesome, I love that movie. I go to my friend, let's watch The Goonies. Like, oh, The Goonies, it's not as good as I thought it was. You know, stuff like that. You know, we our perspective, you know, or when we build up to something, we're looking forward to something, our expectations are very high, and it's very easy to be disappointed, you know. And the Macan Turbo has not disappointed. It's impressed me every second that I've driven it. So here we go. Can you get fed up with that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I can't. You know, and it's on sport right now. I'm not dropping it down. Launch control is absolutely insane. The launch control on the Macan, considering the all-wheel drive, the amount of torque that this engine puts out, the launch control on this compared to the Cayman, the launch control on the Macan is much more exhilarating. So the original plan was to buy a 911 Turbo. That's the original dream. The dream is still alive, let's say that. I put it on hold temporarily to get this vehicle, considering the practical aspect of this car. It's the performance, the luxury, the feel of this car is absolutely incredible. But the practicality, you know, the fact that I could haul well, you know, the trunk is not humongous. It's a compact SUV, but it's more than enough for me to put my stuff, my luggage and my equipment. Considering I travel quite a bit for work, I take the plane quite often. So I'm traveling from my home to the airport pretty regularly. It's usually like an hour or 15-minute drive. So it gives me all the space I need to put stuff in back. And I could have my whole family in here and go for a drive, and we'll have smiles on our face. So that for me was like a no-brainer. I go, if I buy a 911, I can't have the family enjoy it with me all together. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I purchased this Macan Turbo. So I won't be able to get a video. I wish I could add a little scene of the family enjoying the launch control with me, because in the summer I'll find some back roads where it's safe to do a little bit of launch control. But I'll add a little video here. But I'll add a little video of my son mimicking launch control. And I think it'll say it all. I think it's left a lasting impression on my son, my youngest son Cooper. It's easy. I think it's pretty clear to say that my son is going to be a future Porsche owner. So here's that clip.
I have a problem. Burglars everywhere. I need to use launch control.
Okay.
First, I need to use 4 plus.
Okay.
Now launch control.
So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? I went from, at the age of 40, from driving a Focus ST, which I thought was a nice car, and now driving this, and I'm like, holy moly! It puts much more smile on my face. I think the ST sometimes impressed me with its handling abilities, but it never made me smile as much as this car does. So that says a lot about what Porsche has been able to do with this platform. Like the Porsche DNA it's so ingrained in this vehicle. So when I went in to buy this Macan, originally when I was going to order the GTS, I didn't want to have the pneumatic suspension, considering the history of pneumatic suspensions, in the past. And they don't have issues, there's some Lincolns and whatnot that have always had them issues, and most people, when the systems are like no longer functional or very expensive to repair. So I was going to order the steel springs. I'm more of a sports guy than a luxury comfort guy. That's kind of funny that I got the Macan. I think that sort of turbo. I think the GTS would have been more suited for me, on the drawing board anyway. So when I was talking with the salesman, I was like, I don't want an air suspension. He's like, you need the air suspension. Everybody wants the air suspension if you ever want to sell it. And even the panoramic roof. I go, I don't want a panoramic roof. I want it to be lighter, I don't want the glass up here and whatnot. So there's not much of a difference, in weights, and that's the way I think. So I ended up, when I bought this car, it came with a pneumatic suspension. It came with the panoramic roof. The family loves the roof, and yeah, I like it too. It's very nice. Now that I have it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I love it. But it's not something I would have, ordered if I was getting a custom, order for a car, But I had discussion with a salesman about the pneumatic suspension having issues. And no. He goes, it's fine. And I was right, So I did bring it in before Christmas, I believe. Yeah, before Christmas, because the compressor's been running continuously, sometimes, and the car, when it sits for a little while, you'll see that there's some corner, the front left corner drops a little more. So we brought it in. I brought it into Porsche, and the service at Porsche is absolutely amazing. Rive Sud, Porsche, absolutely incredible. So it's covered by warranty. That it could be a programming issue. They reprogrammed it, and it's still giving me the same problem. So I think must be a little leak in the system somewhere. So I was right about being worried about getting the pneumatic suspension. The PDK on the Macan is it's better than a torque converter, automatic transmission, no doubt about it. There are some periods where there's a bit of a delay, even in manual mode. I'm still not used to using it on manual mode. You know, I let the PDK do its thing. Sometimes, you know, when I want to have a little bit of fun, a little more spirited, I'll go into manual mode. Here, I'll do it right now. So there's a slight little delay there, changing and upshifting. But I think my smile says it all. And actually, my cheeks are starting to hurt me just a tiny bit. One comment actually I've had with the car is, I've had this comment, and my wife as well, is that the drive is so smooth if you put it on the softest setting, which is right now it is on the softest setting, considering the little bumps in the road. Try to stabilize the image a tiny bit. Is that it actually makes me drowsy sometimes, you know, like when I'm driving on the highway, it's so comfortable. And these 18-way adjustable seats are just, oh my God, it's like it's heaven. You're like in a cloud, you know. And even with my bad back, I could drive this car for hours. I've driven it to Quebec City, you know, like a couple hour drives here. And I haven't done, actually, no, I've driven it down to Toronto, so I've done a 5-hour drive with it. And it was just, it was an amazing drive. And what's incredible, you know, you're talking about a 400 horsepower, you know, engine, twin turbo. If you kick this car, definitely it's gonna consume gas. You know, it guzzles down gas. But with the 7-speed PDK, you know, and if you go on the normal mode, high mileage is actually pretty impressive. If you're looking at the refresh model, the 2019-2020 Macan, there is a refresh that came out with a, you know, slight infotainment system change. It went for a wider screen. They relocated the vents. I find the vents where they're located right now are more practical for mounting a cell phone. That's one little issue I have with the interior on the Macan. The placement of the phone. If you want to put it closer to you, the steering wheel is actually in the way where the vent is located, so you have to put it on the passenger side vent. So that's a little bit of it's a little issue. Nothing big, but it works well, whereas I could reach it without having to, you know, stretch out. So on the refresh, you know, they have the light bar out and back. The front bumper has been refreshed as well. And they made a switch on the turbo. They went over to the 2.9 liter V6, which is an Audi engine. The 3.6 twin turbo on the first gen Macan is a purely Porsche engine, and it has a lot of potential. I'm not saying that the 2.9 twin turbo doesn't have a lot of potential. It's coming out from the manufacturer with about 435 horses, you know, instead of the 400. So even the new GTS has a little bump in power. But I'm happy I got the first gen just because of the engine. I have the 3.6 twin turbo instead of 2.9. So we'll have to see how that pans out for the 2.9. Some reviewers are saying that, you know, even though the numbers are higher on the newer on the refresh Macan Turbo, that the model I have actually feels faster. It's probably going to come up with faster numbers just because of the low end torque on this engine. It just pulls right from the beginning all the way to the end. That's what's incredible. It doesn't die. The horsepower numbers are incredible. Sorry, the torque numbers are incredible down low, and the horsepower number just keeps on going. This car is completely bone stock right now. I haven't done any modifications to it. It's still under warranty. I have a 2-year unlimited warranty on it, unlimited mileage warranty on it. So I'm not going to throw that in the garbage right now. But there's tuners out there that for about $1,000, you know, will pump out the horsepower to close to 500 horsepower, and that just only on a tune, considering it's a twin. When you get a turbocharged car, you could do so much with a tune and an exhaust too. I could put like $34,000 on this car and it'll be a monster. It'll be a 500 horsepower monster.
After a nice little ride in the winter, it's been rinsed off and tucked away for another evening, but I can't wait for the summer days and summer nights to come back so I could really push it to its limit. I hope you enjoyed the video, because I enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed my opinion on this car, and it opened your eyes to the possibilities of what this compact SUV can offer. Please don't forget to subscribe. Press the button. Subscribe.